let me start off by saying the purpose of me creating this video is because I want to create content that people can relate to. You know, people don't want to talk about death. People don't want to talk about mental health, men's mental health. Like, there's so many things that I want to touch on that nobody wants to talk about, just from my experience and from how I view things because of what I've been through. I just want to share my experience with you all in hopes that someone maybe can relate, or maybe I say something that can help you get through tough times, or, you know, anything. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Tearanny B. So today's video is going to be on losing my dad. It's really important for me to talk about losing him, and it kind of just helps me to heal. It's comforting for me. So you guys don't know what the heck I'm talking about. When I was 16, I was a junior in high school. My dad passed away of heart complications on January 4th, 2014. Today is actually the anniversary, and that's why I really wanted to put this video out. Just kind of give him recognition and love, because I miss him dearly. He is my angel. I know he's watching over me. I just hope this video can help anybody that could possibly be going through, you know, loss of a loved one. It can help. I hope it can help you to know you aren't alone. You are not alone. I know it feels like it. I know it feels like you're suffocating. There's nothing you can do, but you gotta stay strong, okay? All right, let's get into the backstory, because it's pretty important for you to know. All right, so when I was in 5th grade, my dad actually had a heart attack. It was due to stress. He got a stent in his heart, and he was okay after that, but we found out that he had diabetes, high blood pressure, heart problems, of course, and whatever else came along with that. And it was possible for him to live a long, comfortable life as long as he took his medications, as long as he, you know, took care of himself, he ate healthy and exercised, then, you know, he should have been able to live a long life. The odds are already stacked against him as a black man. So December 2013, the story when I found out he was in the hospital. So December 2013, about mid-December, we were still in school and stuff, me and my brother. And one day I was washing the dishes. It was on a Wednesday, I'll never forget. I was in the kitchen washing dishes, and the week before that, I had an upper respiratory infection, and I had to take an inhaler. I had to get on a breathing treatment in the hospital. And that's just so you can piece together what I'm about to say. So that weekend, the weekend before this Wednesday, that we found out my dad was in the hospital, we had to go to his house, and he was determined. He was like, he told my mom, tell the kids cancel any plans, don't make any plans, they're coming to spend the weekend with me. Okay, cool. So we get to my dad's house, and we thought we were spending the weekend with him, like spending the night. I think this was on a Saturday. And he took us home, actually. We couldn't stay just because the circumstances were not permitting. And I don't know what it was, but I didn't want to get out that car when he dropped us off. I remember sitting in the car, and I kept thinking something bad was gonna happen. I was like, no, I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave. He's like, you gotta stay with your mom tonight. I'm sorry. I know I said y'all could stay, but you know, circumstances change, and you have to stay with your mom. All right, cool. We get out of the car. We didn't talk every single day. You know, it was just, that's just how it was. Once we moved out from my dad, we still talked. It might not have been every single day. We might have texted. But so that Wednesday, I was washing the dishes, and my chest started hurting something serious. Like, when I say I thought I was going to pass out, I ran upstairs. I had to like strip and take that inhaler and lay flat out on the floor to catch my breath. Once I caught my breath and I was good, I went downstairs and my stepdad was on the couch. So we're sitting there watching TV. My brother is sitting in the chair and my stepdad sends a text, or he texted his phone and shows me. He's like, "Hey, did you hear about your dad?" Excuse me? What? That was my reaction. What do you mean? He's like, call your Aunt Jean. So I called my aunt and she's like, I don't want to tell you. I don't want to scare you. I don't want to scare you. What? What do you mean you don't want to scare me? What's wrong with my dad? I'm panicking at this point. I'm panicking. I'm like, you know what? Forget it. She told me he was in the hospital, but I was like, forget it. I'm going to call him. So I call his phone and I hear a deep voice say, hello. So automatically I assume it's my dad. So I say, hey, daddy. And it was a long pause. And I hear, and I knew it was my granddad. And I broke down. I just couldn't hold it together. I didn't know what to expect. I was just so hurt. I didn't know. My granddad's like, calm down. And I couldn't get it together. So he puts my grandma on the phone. She's like talking to me, trying to calm me down. Like, TR, you gotta relax. You can't get on the phone. I'm gonna put the phone to his ear, but he can't say anything. So you can't get on the phone like this. You gotta pull it together, okay? Okay. I'm gonna talk to my dad on the phone, okay? So she puts him on the phone, or puts me on the phone with him, and he's trying to take his mask off to talk to me. I'm like, hey, daddy, I love you. I hope you feel better. I'm gonna come see you, I promise. You know, I love you, I love you. That's all I could think of. And he's like, I love you too, baby. He's like trying to pull his mask off. And my grandma's like, okay. So she had to take the phone away. She's like, he's got to keep his mask on. He's not listening. So, you know, basically they were going to come get us and all this other stuff or whatever. He had a heart attack. When he got to the hospital, I know he had pneumonia. I think he had a few more heart attacks. And it just kind of started going downhill from there. So when we finally got to go see him in the hospital, he was laying in the bed talking. He was good. Like, that was my dad. We stood next to him for a while and he held our hands and he just like, just don't move. We just stood there and we enjoyed the moment. A few days later, so this, like I said, it was in December, so it's around Christmas time. So we were in the hospital a lot. That was my dad, of course. Even though my parents were together, my mom made it a point to make sure we were there with him. The next time we seen him, I believe, was on Christmas. That's the next time I remember seeing him. And I remember I bought him some Green Bay Packers socks, because Green Bay Packers was his favorite team. And I have a thing for socks. I like socks. So my dad he had a thing for socks. Not a thing for socks, but like, you had to have socks on. You couldn't walk around the house without socks on. If you were cold, put on some socks. That's why you're cold. So we get to the hospital and he's hooked up to a dialysis machine. And he's asleep, of course. He's in pain. A lot of stuff happened. I don't remember the details, but his health was just, you know, up and down. Just while he was in the hospital. Well, Christmas, he was down. Then a few days after Christmas, he was up. He was sitting up in his chair, and this was the last time I seen him. The very last time I seen my dad awake. We went up to the hospital. He was sitting up in his chair, eating his ice cream, talking about how the next time we seen him, he was going to be at home. He was going to be in his house, on the street he lives in. And that didn't happen. God had a different plan for him. And it wasn't for him to return to that place. It was for him to go home, but not to the home he thought was home. I remember New Year's came, and I texted him because I think I called and he didn't answer. So I texted him, "Hi Daddy, Happy New Year's, I love you." January 3rd, 2014, I was a cheerleader in high school, so we had a basketball game to cheer at. And it was a regular day. Granted, you know, my dad's still in the hospital, but I didn't think anything bad could happen to my dad. I didn't think that God was going to take him away from me when he did. So I came home from the basketball game, and my mom sat me and my brother down. And she's like, Grandma called, and Daddy's health is taking a toll for the worst. And I remember thinking, whatever, you know, my dad is gonna pull through. He's strong. He gonna fight. He gonna come home. He said he's coming home. That's what I said. My dad said he was coming home. He's coming home. I was like, that's all right. He's gonna be okay. He's gonna fight it. He can come home. So I remember going to sleep. Like, I remember this day like it was yesterday. I remember going upstairs, going to get in bed, going to sleep, saying my prayer. And my mom waking us up at like 1 a.m.-ish. 1, I think it was something like 1 a.m. And I'm like, I'm mad. Like, why are you waking me up? This can't wait till the morning. I didn't say this because it's my mama, but this is what I'm thinking in my head. Like, you can't wait till the morning. Like, I had just cheered. I was tired. So we get downstairs. And I'm sitting in the chair. My brother's sitting on the couch. My mom's standing up in front of us. She says, I don't know an easy way to say this. Grandma called and Daddy passed away. And I remember sitting there. I don't think I processed it. My little brother ran upstairs and he said, how am I supposed to live without him? And I think I was angry. I didn't believe it. I didn't believe that he would leave me without saying goodbye first. I didn't believe that he would leave me. I didn't. You couldn't tell me. So we got dressed and we went to the hospital because that's where my family was. And it, like I said, I didn't think, it didn't feel real to me. Like, I didn't think so until I walked in. I think I was crying, but I honestly can't remember. I don't remember the card right there. I remember pulling up, running into the building, getting in there and seeing everybody crying. And I believe that's when I was crying. I was crying too, but it didn't feel real. And they finally let us go into his hospital room. And all my family was already there, all his side of the family, my dad's side. And I remember walking in, and I think I was mad, and my attitude was on some other stuff, okay? You can't blame me. So I walk in, and I'm already crying, but like I said, it didn't hit me yet. And I see him laying there, and he looked asleep. He looked like he was asleep. So I'm waiting for him to take his big deep breath, because I knew my dad was asleep when he took his big deep breath. And he never took his big deep breath. And I couldn't hold it together. I did collapse. Somebody caught me, and I couldn't get back up. Seeing the strongest man you know down, gone, I have no words. Honestly, I still have no words to this day. We stayed at the hospital for a while after he passed, and I guess, you know, everybody said their goodbyes. And I remember sitting next to him, holding his hand, and I felt him. I felt my dad. I felt him tell me he was okay. And all I could do was smile. That's all I could do was smile, because I knew he was okay. He was no more pain. he didn't have to go through the stuff, the challenges that life threw at him, the challenges that he created for himself were finally gone, you know. I had friends come over. They came over and they, you know, comforted me the best they could, the best they knew how. And I really appreciated that, and I needed that. I also had another friend at the time who was really, really supportive and there for me through that time. My cousin Kiara, she was there. She still is there. They didn't leave me. They made sure that I was good. My mom, shout out to the real one, because that girl right there, I know this video is about my dad, but my mama, that woman is amazing. I don't know how she does it. I don't know. All I can say is thank you. Like, thank you, and I will work until the death of me to pay her back, because she deserves it. And, you know, granted, her and my dad had their issues, she was still there for us when we needed her. She's still there for us when we need her. When we need to cry, when we need to talk about him, you know, she puts her feelings and her emotions to the side, and she listens. She listens to us, and that's so appreciated, and it's so well needed. So next up was the wake and the funeral. So the wake wasn't that bad, I don't think. I mean, of course I was still crying. I kind of was numb. All I can remember was being numb. I don't really, because I could still smile and laugh and still have a good time, but I couldn't feel anything. I don't think it was real. I couldn't really feel anything. And I think I was lying to myself, telling myself I was okay, so I could be okay. I knew in the back of my head that my dad would not have wanted me to do anything but what I did, and that was push harder and go harder for what it is that I wanted. So his funeral came. So we get in the car through the funeral line, and you know, I gotta turn the music on. The first song that came on was No More Pain by Mary J. Blige. And that right there, I felt a whole weight lifted off of my shoulders. I felt like he was talking to me. He really put that song on the radio and said, I'm okay. I'm not in pain anymore. I actually have No More Pain tatted right here. That was my very first tattoo. I'll show you guys. I have No More Pain, and I have his signature. I'll post a picture so you guys can see it. So No More Pain came on, and I felt a breath of fresh air almost. Like, okay, it's gonna be okay. And then after that, Tamla Mann's Take Me to the King came on. And my first time ever hearing Take Me to the King, Tamla Mann's Take Me to the King, was in the car with my dad. He had it blasting and he was screaming it. But when we were in the car on the way to the funeral, that song came on, and that song made me know that he was in heaven. His soul was safe. So when we got to the funeral, of course, we were the first ones in line, and we walked past my dad. And I lied to you not. I promise you, and you can ask my little brother, it looked like he was smiling. It looked like he was just happy and at peace. I spoke at the funeral. It was one of the hardest things that I've done. I was good. The thing is, I was good. I get up there. I was like, okay, I'm going to say some words for my dad. It's just going to happen. So I get up there and I choke. I can't say anything. Like, there's no words coming out of my mouth. I can't even make myself say anything. Like, I was just like, and I wanted to talk. I just couldn't. And my granddad was there with me, and he rubbed my back and he was trying to calm me down, and I was finally able to get some words out. I remember still being sad, you know, my first cheer competition without him, I think was when it really hit me. I was just super emotional. And my cheerleading coach at the time, she lost her mother. So she understood how I was feeling. And I don't even know what happened, but I remember I was so emotional, and I couldn't hold it in anymore. And I just started boohooing, and she's like, "You miss your dad, don't you?" I'm like, "Yeah. This is the first cheer competition he's not coming to." And I think that's when it started to hit me, because he started to miss things, and there were so many things coming up. It was my senior year, and he wasn't going to be there for it at all. Like, in spirit, yes, of course. Everybody's like, he's always with you in spirit. Yes, but it's not the same. It's not the same. I want to hug. I want to physically hug my dad. I want to hear his voice. I want to hear him say my name. You know, I want to hear him ask me if I'm okay. There's just some things that a spirit can't do. I think a lot about how life would be if he was still here. And it's like, I can't envision it. I don't know. Would it still be the same? Probably not. God had a different decision, and I respect it. I really do. Because my dad was going through a lot, and he's been through a lot in his lifetime. And, you know, he doesn't hurt anymore. He can't. He's in a place of happiness and bliss. And I just want to remember the happy thoughts. And I do. Just, you know, those happy memories, they always make it better. I know this was a super long video and a lot to take in. If I could say anything to him, it'd just be, I love you and I miss you. And I know you're watching over me. And I promise I'm going to continue to make you proud. And please just, you know, keep watching over me and protecting me. And I love you. And I miss you. I guess that's all for today. Guys, pause. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, please. Thank you. And that is a wrap for Tearanny B today. Peace and love.